This is Plasma 5.27 in 10 minutes. Tiling windows. You can now shift and drag in order to snap windows to particular predefined areas appearing on the screen. These areas can be edited by pressing Meta plus T, which is basically Windows button plus T in PCs. You can drag and change the area inside here, just like this, but you also get the option to change your layout to the one of these three. KDE now even provides you to change the padding of the tiles. What I find very interesting is that the tiles pop out to form floating windows whenever you drag and drop. Drag the window out of its position. Now that is a feature or immature tiling in Plasma at its infancy is completely up to the user. If you want it to snap back to its location, shift and drag again works. But before tiling capabilities, the first thing that I will notice is the change to wallpaper. I guess Plasma now looks more calm and quiet with this wallpaper from Andy Betts. Not just that, there are some major theming changes. Breeze themed windows now have subtle outline in dark mode in order to differentiate windows more prominently from another. Now the transition from dark mode to light mode or vice versa was supposed to get a revamp, but the flickering and the stuttering still remains. Well, after the transition, you will notice that the wallpaper has also changed. Nothing drastic, but yeah, noticeable. I like the fact that light mode wallpaper is not too bright, but at the same time understandable that it belongs to the light mode. System settings has also got some changes. It is now more compact. Small settings, which have their own pages, are now merged within a group. Just like launch animation with the cursor is now present inside appearance/cursor. You can edit the option like it allowed previously, turn it completely off or turn it back on. It even allows you to change the taskbar animation. Highlight changes is now moved inside the hamburger menu. It can be clicked to enable, but it highlights a lot of places which I haven't even touched. Clicking off settings icon under sound does not launch a separate application. Rather, it is now moved inside audio option under settings. You can do the same thing here along with some other additional options for change, like testing your audio. Finally, settings for touch-based devices are also improved. One of the most prominent changes is Discover. Well, if you open Discover, you won't notice anything other than the way the app representation is done for this with tile-like elements, each tile having an app icon, name and description. Now if we reduce the window size, you will notice that how aware the content inside the window is, and they change the position to form a touch-friendly interface. Looks almost like a mobile application. I guess they could have got rid of this scroll bar, but yeah. Adaptive content makes the app better manage space for optimal usage. What is interesting is that KeyRunner got a new update. And KeyRunner is a kind of a search tool inside KDE which helps you search inside your Linux system. Firstly, it gives you information on currency conversion rates. Mainly, it's not actually information, but it is a kind of integration of calculator inside the KeyRunner. So if you write here, in order to convert like 100 USD to INR, instead of showing it that it can be done with a calculator, it actually shows the result, which is much faster. When you press the enter button or click on the result automatically gets copied to the clipboard so that you can paste it later whenever it is required. The next important feature is the integration of dictionary inside the KeyRunner. Now if you want to search for something, you can just write define and then enter the word. And it also works similarly for other words. Finally, let us talk about the addition of time. Now time zones can be seen easily. If you want to know the time of a different zone, you can just write it, for example time, and then enter the location. Like if I want to do GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. And if you don't want that, if you want something else, you can also enter that. For example, time IST will give us the information about the time in India. Well, you might not even know the time zone. No problem, just enter the location, like Germany in this case, and it will show the time. Also notice it shows how far or behind the time is at that location. Similarly, clicking on the results will copy the result to clipboard and you can paste them inside a document editor or wherever you are working as required. There is also a new addition inside Calendar. If you open Calendar from the panel and head over to configure calendar settings, you will get that a new option is available to enable the alternate calendar. Now, if you enable the alternate calendar, you will find a separate new panel appearing at the side. Click on that. You get the option to have the additional Hebrew calendar to be enabled from the panel itself. So after enabling, you can see if you open the calendar from the panel, you will find a separate pop-up appearing along with the calendar itself in order to show the events that are related to the calendar you have chosen. Next, there are some changes in the color picker. Inside the application window, if you open it, you will find that there is only a single option for the color history that you have selected. But however, opening the configuration options inside the settings window, you find that you can increase the number of colors available to 9. So you can see the history of colors you had selected earlier. It is very helpful. Now clicking on the color, you will find the option to copy the color code instantly from there itself. Now I have a suggestion for color picker. I don't know if it will be applicable for everyone or not. I feel like that the window is too big for a color picker. It could have been scaled down and it would have provided the same options. Another suggestion would be for the window to be stuck on the top of other windows. See, if I click on other window, it just goes to the lower part. I mean, the other window becomes the focus one and this one just moves behind it. But I think that it could have been pinned right on the top of other windows. But that can also be done from the settings there itself. So you can right click and do it. But I think that even if you pin it on the top, the size does make a lot of problem since it is like huge compared to the screen. So making it smaller would be nice. I don't know if this is a problem in my system or not. Since I am running this inside a virtual machine, there might be some problems with the resolution and scaling, but yeah, that is a problem that I faced. Next, there are some changes in the system tray. You can scroll on the audio option in order to increase or decrease the volume. That option is there. Along with that, you can middle click on the audio option in order to mute all sound devices. Now they have also added this option to other icons, like you can turn off the Bluetooth just by middle click on the Bluetooth. Also, you can turn on airplane mode by middle clicking on the network options. So these are some changes that have come up on the panel. Finally, talking about the entire build of KDE, it does feel much smooth than previously. Just look at the animations, the opening of applications, closing of it. Inside the virtual machine itself, it is a breezy experience which is surprisingly stable in KDE 5.27. Which brings us to the topic of Wayland. Migrating Plasma to Wayland had been a hard work for the KDE developers, which they feel is now paying off. Plasma 5.27's Wayland support is better than ever, with many bug fixes and reliability improvements throughout. But at the same time, I feel like it needs a bit more polish. Design apps like Krita can now be aware of pen tilt and rotation on drawing tablets. Plasma on Wayland also supports high-resolution scroll wheels for smoother scrolling through long views. It also has gained the support for Global Shortcuts Portal. This allows apps on Wayland to offer a standardized user interface for setting and editing global shortcuts. Finally, Plasma on Wayland is now smarter about setting appropriate scale factors for your screen automatically, so you don't have to. In addition to all these Plasma improvements for power users, it has multi-monitor overhaul, which means arrangements will now be more robust without the change of panels and desktops getting lost after the monitors are unplugged or rearranged. Using global shortcuts to run terminal commands. The shortcut page in the system utility now lets you to configure keyboard shortcuts not only for apps but also to launch terminal commands and scripts. Now if you live inside the terminal for most of the day, you can activate Do Not Disturb from the terminal itself. Unfortunately, the command did not work for me, but yeah, it is added according to KDE. Now also you can send windows to activities, save power by turning off lock screen with escape key, and better menu customization from KDE menu editor. They also have a brand new welcome experience. They claim that this is not their final product, but again, I did not find it included when I installed it on my system. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.